All right, hold on. I'm going to talk about this Claudia Tenney issue coming up in a second with Pete Sobel, Oneida County Republican chair. First, though, Joe Load on the issue of you're a very strong proponent of guns, Joe.
Yeah.
You
and,
are?
Bill, it's funny because, my father worked at Remington Arms like a lot of people did, and it was the best-paying job. But my father never allowed me to own a firearm. And it wasn't until I got to college that I actually started to get into firearms through my brother-in-law and hunting and things of that nature. So, yeah, it started later on in life, but I think my father was more fearful of a firearm than like a lot of people.
And he worked and he worked at Remington Arms.
Yeah, and he worked there. He was with them every day around guns. But people I think are always more fearful of the unknown.
Right.
And here's the deal: if you're a licensed firearm carrying citizen, then you should carry your firearm. I think that most licensed firearms citizens are responsible enough to not be in a situation where they're drinking. So that being said, if you own a firearm pistol carry permit, you're in college, I say you carry it. Who the hell knows you got it on you anyway? Because you're not announcing it to anybody.
And Joe, don't you think? First of all, what I said is the worry is because we see the behavior of college students. We remember the behavior, our behavior, when we were college students. So I think that is the fear for people. But don't you think that, even though I don't believe that it's the legal to be able to carry on a college campus in New York State, don't you think that there are some people that do anyway? That they do?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You don't even know it because they're not advertising it, right?
Right, because if you're a responsible gun-carrying citizen, you're not advertising that you have a gun. That just automatically puts a target on you.
Right.
God forbid something happens in front of you and you need to act. Well, then that's when you know, or you're going to let everybody know that you have a firearm because you're going to act upon a situation. And I think a lot of these college shootings could be prevented if there was just one pistol-carrying permit gun owner citizen in that classroom, that some of these killings could have been stopped, you know?
Interesting.
The problem is, Bill, you're never going to stop these idiot copycat, and I call them copycats because they want to try to outdo each other.
Joe, we went to the same school. Do you remember when the bomb scare thing happened in the 70s? And it was early 70s. It was like every other week there was another bomb scare called in. Maybe I'm a little bit older than you, but I remember that well. And once there was one, there were many. And the same thing kind of is happening with these shootings. I mean, they're just unexplained. But they're happening, and it's a terrible thing. But it's copycat. These are copycat crimes.
I think it's a lot to do with how things in the family structure have changed over the years. And not to drag you on with this, but think about it. We have, number one, more single-parent families in our society today than ever before. We have no fathers, and in most of these cases, it's single mothers. So there's no family structure. Parents work weekends. Parents work Sundays. How many people do you see? Less and less people going to church or doing family events on Sundays when that's the family time. Maybe people should focus on this. You have Monday through Saturday to go shopping. Okay. Why do you need to do it on a Sunday?
Joe's
I
becoming
believe that the blue laws are a big reason why our country's the way it is.
The blue laws.
What?
Because no shopping on Sunday.
Not work on Sundays.
Right.
I can remember, Bill, going to church, going to my grandmother's and having a dish of pasta.
So, are you running for office?
And doing family things.
Right.
Sundays should be family, and if you have that family structure, you don't have these kids that are crazy and looking for attention.
I got to tell you, one of the greatest things that ever happened is opening up liquor stores on a Sunday. Woo!
Oh, dear God.
All right, Joe. Joe has become a social conservative. Holy moly in the morning. All right, Joe. Interesting. Thanks, man.
Bill.
I appreciate it.
Right.
And quickly, Sharon on guns, and then I got a break. Sharon, go ahead.
Hi. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I just wanted to share something that surprised me. A while back, my son-in-law, who is a teacher in Massachusetts on the island of Nantucket, after one of these school shootings, approached his principal and said to him or her, I forget, I think to him.
Yeah.
I think, he said, our children are vulnerable, especially in the elementary school. I believe there should be a responsible teacher who is armed.
Yeah.
And after a short debate, not much, the principal agreed. It so happened that his teacher at the time, his son's teacher at the time, was a female ex-New York City police officer.
Wow.
And she volunteered to be the one, and Tim, my son-in-law, volunteered to be the one in the high school. It surprised me, A, because he's an educator, and I wasn't sure how he'd feel about that. He has handled guns in the past and is an extremely responsible person, as I believe people who go to the trouble of getting a license, especially in New York these days.
And by the way, this is, you're talking about very liberal Massachusetts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I really don't know my son-in-law's political, beliefs. I don't. We don't get into that.
Well, there really are no political beliefs when it comes to protecting a child. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I really firmly believe that people who are anti-gun are not thinking it through clearly.
Yeah.
Because how many crimes have been thwarted, how many attacks have been minimized because there was a law-abiding citizen who was armed.
Well, we've seen it here right in our own area, right?
You just don't hear about it in the media, and I think that's wrong.
We saw it here in at the cell phone store when that shooting happened.
Exactly.
So, all right, Sharon, thanks.
Right, thanks.
Thank you.
You guys have a great day. I love you guys.
Thanks so much.
Yep,
and Scott, I'll end it with you. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing this morning?
Good. You're on, Scott.
Oh, cool. Well, hi, everybody. One of the things that I was, the caller just before the last one was talking about the gun-free zones. I grew up around guns. I was hunting when I was 14. My dad was very, very much about safety. But if you advertise that an area is a gun-free zone, then the knuckleheads are going to take, they're going to have the belief they can take guns there. If you don't advertise, just the advertisement says there are no guns here. Don't make it an advertisement. Just leave it alone, and who knows? Somebody could be carrying.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that sign you put outside your door with a gun point. It's like a handgun pointing at you, saying warning, or a dog barking. I mean, if there is some sort of a deterrent to scare you away, then that tends to work. So
this is a dog-free zone. So
this is a dog-free zone. Yes, don't worry about where you walk.
Isn't there an alarm system featuring a
There
dog?
might be. Yeah, the dog starts barking. It's not even a real dog. So, all right, Scott, good stuff. Thank you so much. 7:44. Hold on tight. Coming right back. This issue of Claudia Tenney, Assemblywoman Claudia Tenney, not endorsed by her home county, Oneida County Republican Chair Pete Sobel, is next on WIBX.